to the Dr. Balmer channel. So this is part 2 of having a look at this UPS from Armac. It has a 7 amp hour battery, supposedly, and in the first part we had a quick look, even though it wasn't too quick, and we tried a load of about 70 watts or so. So before we try out the USB connection, the connectivity to a PC, I wanted to try to get a new go at the battery capacity. So I've left it plugged in the off state for about 24 hours now, and the watt meter says 9.7 watts. So last time I believe it was at about 12.5 watts when we decided to conduct the test. So also I'm thinking that this time I would like to have a load of as close to 100 watts as possible. And yeah, for that purpose I have this time replaced the LED bulb I previously had with a 40 watt incandescent bulb in this fitting, and I will check the actual wattage of it, I think, in the watt meter before we start the test. And also from previous run I also have a light that looks like this, which is 60 watts incandescent light bulb, and it's like previously, it's connected to my little device here, so I will check the wattage of it as well. So let's start with that and see what we get. Right, so I will disconnect the UPS now. And plug this in, if possible. And yeah, it's not really 60 watts, is it? Of course, it depends on the voltage as well. So let's check the voltage. Uh, 228.5 volts. So yeah, it's not the highest I've seen around here, but fair enough. Right at 50 Hertz. And yeah, 53.5 watts. Okay. So 53.5. It's not exactly 60 watts, but it's good to know. 53.5. And then let's plug this one in. Yeah. And we're getting 37.2. So 53.5 plus 37.2. Yeah, that's 90.7 watts. So yes. So we know we have a load of 90.7 watts, at least at this voltage. And the voltage was, what did we see here? 228.8.9. So 229 volts. All right. Yeah. So let's plug these lights in to the UPS and see what kind of runtime we get this time. Now we know that we have 90.7 watts. But also I noticed last time that the UPS ramped the voltage up a bit now and then. So perhaps we could actually connect the watt meter to the back of the UPS. So let's do that. Unfortunately, the plugs are oriented this way. But that's okay. And then we will connect let's see here. The black lamp I will connect to the bottommost socket, and then the 53.5 watt light I will connect to the watt meter. So I don't know how many watts the watt meter draws, but it shouldn't be more than a watt or so, I suppose. So, okay. This is a bit unpractical. But yeah, let's do it like this anyway. And I shall switch the mode here on the timer to counting up mode. And basically let's turn this one on, and then we start turn on the load and see how far we get. And I will check the voltages on the back now and then, on the wattage on the watt meter. So yeah, I will turn off the beeping, And yeah, let's turn this everything here on. Alright, and unlike last time, when we only had one bar of load indicated, now we have 2 bars. So we are loading it around half capacity. However, if we were only loading it with 90 watts, and this should be able to handle 390 watts maximum, then we shouldn't really be at half yet. So yeah, we're running, and it says 220 volts output right now. Let me check manually on the backside of the watt meter. So I just checked on the backside, and this value of 220 volts seems to be accurate. The watt meter shows 220 point something volts, so it's pretty much right on. And since 220 is a lower value than 229 that we had from the AC wall outlet, this lamp is not 53.5 watts, but currently drawing 50.8 watts. So a few watts lower on this one than when plugged in directly to the mains. And you can see that the voltage here on the output is dropping a bit. So let me check again if it's still accurate. Yeah, the voltage output reading seems to be accurate, and since we're down to 217, we're drawing pretty much 50 watts on the spot instead of 53.5 that we had on 228 volts. Alright, and we have lost 1 bar already after about 4.5 minutes. So now at 215 volts, the light bulb is now at 49 watts. So it's a bit hard to do the maths later, because the wattage is not constant, because the output voltage of the UPS is not constant. Yeah, now we jumped up right back to 220 volts. Let's check if that's true. Yep, having a quick look, I can confirm that it did in fact ramp the voltage up. So the light bulb now draws 51.4 watts. So let's say that we on average draw about 50 watts on this light bulb. That should be 60 watts, but was 53.5 on 229 volts on the mains power. So if we do a quick calculation, 3.5 lost watts divided by 53.5. So yeah, that's 6.5% lower load, basically, due to the lower output voltage. So how does that work when you connect, for instance, a computer? Won't the fluctuating input voltage here affect a PC? Well, it depends, of course. So if you have a laptop, then you have a power brick, which is the power supply unit, and it will have a... now we lost another. After 10 minutes we lost the second battery capacity bar. Yeah, the computer's power supply will, whether it's a power brick for a laptop or a real power supply in a desktop computer, it will handle different ranges of voltages. So this one going down to 260 volts will probably mean that with the lower voltage, I suspect that the efficiency of the power supply will go down a bit. Okay, so let's allow it to run some more and see how much time we get out of it. Okay, so 14 minutes in, we only have 1 bar left on the battery. Of course, we're drawing, let's say, so we have a 50 watt bulb. Let's we lost about 6.5%, who said, of the actual wattage. So the 40 watt bulb, what was it? It was about 37 watts or something from the mains. So 37 watts minus 6.5%. It should be about 34.6 watts. And now the voltage jumped up again. Okay. I suspect this unit will start beeping soon, meaning we have less than 1 minute left of runtime. So 34.6 plus about 50, so 84.6 watts. And the battery inside here was 12 volts times 7 amps, 84 watt hours. So 84 watt hours, and we're drawing about 84 watts, so we should get an hour of runtime if everything had been 100% efficient. For instance, the voltage conversion and AC to DC, DC to AC conversion, and so forth. But of course we get some losses, and then there's a fan inside of this unit and the display and other electronics. Yeah, so 16 or 17 minutes in, we're getting the beeping. And the voltage ramped up. It's not too hot, the device itself. Okay, so that's 18.5 minutes. And 18.5 minutes. Let's see. So 18.5 out of 60 minutes. So that's 0.308 hours. Let's say 0.31 hours. Yeah, 0.31 hours times an average of 84, let's say 85 watts. That's 26.35 watt hours. So that's not a whole lot, but yeah, given the losses as well, so let's add 20%. So 32 watt hours from the battery should have been drawn, but that's if 20% is reasonable. And yeah, so that's with a slightly higher load, and the time was 18 minutes, 8.5 minutes. So there we go. But still, if you can find it for about $40, I mean, at least it means your device won't just shut off unexpectedly, and that's the important part. And if it can keep your device alive until it starts beeping and you can turn it off safely, then if the power comes back, the AC power comes back, then within say 2 to 5 minutes, then maybe you won't have to turn off your computer or whatever at all. So yeah, those are the results. Great. And let's next check the USB connectivity and software. Okay, so I have installed the very 90s looking software called Power Manager Auto from Armac's website. And I found two versions, and this is version 3.5. I also found a 3.4. I suppose that should be an older version. I have also managed to dig this USB cable up, type A to type B, and I'll connect the type B to the UPS and then plug the type A connector into my laptop here that I'm using for this experiment. So yes, okay. Maybe take it this way around. Okay, something happened. Um, so we have a log here on the left, and if I zoom in a bit, we can see that we have different events, and it says that first UPS was disconnected, and now it is connected. Okay, so let's have a look here. We have a few gauges here. Input voltage 227 volts, frequency 50 Hertz in. So we're getting some charge in here, and it's charging the battery, and actually it says 75%. But if I look at the display of the UPS itself, let's move over there. You can see here perhaps that it's charging from the very bottom up. So it seems that the UPS should be, the battery should be pretty discharged, and I doubt that the battery has managed to recharge up to 75% capacity during this short period of time that it has been connected. Maybe 15 minutes or so it has been connected. So that's interesting. Yeah, UPS load 0%. Output voltage 0. We have some buttons up here, but we also have temperature reading here, 30.8 degrees Celsius. Okay. What happens if I turn the UPS on? Well, the only thing that really happened seems to be the output voltage here. Actually, it's not 0 volts anymore. So yeah, regarding the UPS load then, let me bring my little device here and connect the 60 watt or so light bulb to the UPS once again, and we will see what it says regarding the UPS load. So, okay. Yeah, it says 13% UPS load. So if that's 60 watts, then I wonder, 13%. So 60 watts out of 390, which is maximum load on this device. It should be, yeah, 15.4%. But maybe we aren't drawing exactly 60 watts because the output voltage is 229 volts, and I believe we had a power draw then of 53.5. So let's try 53.5 out of 390 watts. Yeah, 13.7 watts percent. So that figure should be pretty correct. So yeah, the only thing is that the battery capacity is showing a bit of an odd value. So we have also a tab here called curve. It basically shows the same thing, only with curves, graphs. Yeah, and the funny thing is that the battery capacity curve is not sort of moving much, because it's showing 75%, which is a bit strange, but okay. What else do we have? Data. So, okay, once again we basically see the same thing, only in perhaps raw values here a bit, but nothing too exciting. And the buttons also do the same thing as switching the tabs. Yeah. Rated current. Okay. UPS task. Okay. UPS self-test for 10 seconds. Turn off UPS, turn off UPS. Reboot UPS. Okay, so we can schedule some things. A self-test. But I want to see what happens. Actually, let's see what this button does. Local UPS. USB UPS test. It's now connected. Okay. Auto start power manager UI. Remote UPS. Okay, we can connect to some remote UPS. Shutdown settings. Auto save files. Shutdown UPS after 2 minutes. Display save files when operating system start. Optional command file to execute before operating system shutdown. Okay, so we can choose an executable file to run before the UPS shuts down, the operating system. Crisis process. I don't know what crisis process means. Is that if a battery is critical low, perhaps? I don't know. Shutdown system. In case of AC fault, keep UPS on for 18 minutes. When UPS voltage low, leave system turned on for 2 minutes. Save UPS history data. Okay, so turn off UPS after 2 minutes. Alright. Fine. Okay. Let's go to the oh, did we lose connection? No? We're back. So yeah, these values are the same. Battery 75%, load 13%. Yeah. And actually, my my PC here, my laptop, is currently connected to the mains. So let's see what happens as I remove the I turn off the light bulb. Yep, load goes down to 0%. And let's see here. So this laptop has a very bad battery because it's a very old laptop. And I will have to quickly connect the power plug into the UPS instead of to the mains. So let's try and do that now. So okay, I have connected this laptop to the UPS, and it says it's a 7% load. But it's let's see here. Can I actually see perhaps on the data tab? Output load 7%. That is. Unfortunately, I don't see. Yeah, 16% now. 19%. 16. Unfortunately, I don't see the power draw in watts. At least not immediately. So yeah, and if I check down here, it says UPS version 2.63, UPS model is empty and manufacturer is empty. So I wonder. But okay, so 15% load. If I know that according to specification and our previous calculation with the bulb, so 390 max peak watts of power draw times 15%. So that's 58.5 watts, so 60 watts is probably the current or power draw of this laptop. Yeah. So what happens now if I disconnect the UPS from the mains? Let's do that. And I can see that on my power meter, my watt meter, it shows 67 watts of power draw, including the UPS itself. And now I shall disconnect the UPS from the mains. Okay, we got a pop-up. So the computer will shut down in about 1060 seconds. And now that we are on battery power, it has actually switched to showing the battery capacity perhaps more correctly, 58%. But I'm in doubt that that is correct as well, because I haven't charged the battery for such a long time, really. But okay. So it did detect. But the question is, about 1060 seconds. Why 1060 seconds? So that's, let's see here. 1060 divided by 60. Yeah, that's 17.6, 18 minutes. Oh, so that is the critical event, perhaps, then. We can see that, yes, we have an AC fault here. Okay. Testing. So, shutdown setting. So when is the shutdown setting coming into effect then? The 2 minutes. I don't really see when that's supposed to happen. Crisis process. AC fault. Okay. So that's this is an AC fault event. What about if I change this to 2 minutes on the fly? Will that affect? Yeah, then it starts to count down, a new countdown. Okay. So battery is down to 50%. What if I turn on the light bulb? Yeah, we'll get a 25% load. And I don't know about you, but I believe 25% should be more than this blue part, perhaps. Battery is now 38%. 36%, 38%. So it's a bit interesting. And we are about to shut down soon. In a minute. Another interesting part is that the temperature, 30.8 degrees, has been constant so far. So yeah, let's see if this computer does shut down in about 20 seconds. So the UPS display is showing 1 battery bar remaining. So 6, 5, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Yeah, so the interesting thing was that it actually didn't turn the computer off. It turned the software main window off once the countdown was finished. Which is odd. And yeah, so now it turned off the UPS. So why did it do that? It did some strange things. So I'm not entirely sure what it did. Here it says keep UPS turned on. Yeah, very strange. So let me turn it on manually. Once the 2 minutes passed, it turned off the Power Manager software. But it didn't turn off the system. And then the UPS started beeping that soon I would have to, or soon the UPS would be shut down. But nothing happened really. And then I pushed the UPS button and kept it pressed, and it turned off the UPS. And only then did the laptop turn Windows off. And then I turned the UPS back on, and I started the laptop. I got into Windows. I started this Power Manager application again, and it turned the UPS off. So maybe there's something I'm not really understanding correctly in the settings or something, but as far as I'm aware, it shouldn't have just turn the software off after 2 minutes. It should have turned the computer off. So okay, but basically, yeah. If you want to monitor your UPS, then maybe, but I don't know, the software is a bit buggy perhaps, or first of all it's showing the same temperature. I believe the battery capacity indicator is not 100% correct. I don't think we're at 66% right now. Maybe that's because we're charging and the voltage gets bumped up a bit over the battery terminals. UPS load perhaps is interesting, but on the other hand, we do have a display on the UPS itself. So of course, if you want to just turn your computer off, you can fiddle about in the settings until you get it to work, I suppose. And if you manage to get it to work, then okay, fine. But I'm thinking like having a UPS like this, you connect it to some low power device or computer. For instance, an idea is to have it connected to an HTPC, maybe an Intel NUC or some other small form factor PC, which yeah, perhaps draws, I don't know, 35, 45, 60 watts, like this laptop perhaps, and in that case you should get a decent runtime if the battery was full, so you'll probably have plenty of time to shut the PC off yourself if that's needed before power comes back on the mains. So yeah, but now I had a quick look at the software. So I'm not overly impressed by the software. It could have been updated, I think. Another thing worthy of note is that the manufacturer, Armac, I went to their website to download the software, and it's a Polish manufacturer. They have an English site, and I chose my UPS model, and I could download two different versions of Power Manager, and this is 3.5, the other was 3.4, so it should be older still. So yeah, but there we go. I hope this has been interesting, and yeah, I wouldn't buy it for the about $77 that it cost on Amazon originally, but now I've seen that now and then it drops to about $42 or so, and at that price, I mean, getting a small form factor UPS with a display and also the ability to connect it to the software if you need, and if you have time to fiddle around with it. So yeah, I think that's at least decent. It's not perfect. I mean, it has some the run times could be better perhaps, and on battery and stuff like that, but it is a pretty small form factor UPS, and yeah, I haven't opened it up to see what the battery is like and stuff like that, but for purposes of powering low power devices for about 15 minutes or so, it should be plenty. So yeah, thank you for watching two parts on the Armac 650 UPS, and I will see what interesting topic we'll look at next. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.